Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled The Book of Esther and the Messianic Era. The Rambam has a startling line at the end of Hilchot Megillah. He writes that in the times of Mashiach, in the future, he says that we will have the Chamisha Chumshei Torah, the 5 books of Moshe, and Megillat Esther. That's it. And of course, the commentaries jump on him. Ravid says, what does that mean? Of course, we're going to have all the books left. So if there's any medrash that seems to imply something unique about Megillat Esther, maybe it means that we won't be reading all the books of Tanakh like we do now, where we read all the sad haftarot leading up to Tisha B'Av, and then we read the more optimistic ones after Tisha B'Av. But to say that we're not going to have them, won't be part of Tanakh, impossible. That's the Ravid. Then some commentators on the Rambam write that when the Rambam says in the future we won't have these books of Tanakh, so we'll see. If he's referring to the Mount of Mashiach, we'll find out. Yetz Hashem. We'll have any moment. We'll have a Messianic era. We'll have the Mikdash back, and we'll see what it's going to be. And then some want to say that maybe the Rambam himself also meant that we'll still have the books, the 24 books, we just won't have them read publicly. Something similar to what the Ravid was saying. And we are going to see. Yetz Hashem soon, speedily in our days. What's the concept? 5 books of Moshe and Megillat Esther. We have so many beautiful books in Tanakh. Each one's teaching so many lessons. Mishlei, Iyov. So it's a very big question, and I cannot propose any answer to the question. But one insight that I heard many, many years ago, Rabbi Yisrael Shibnei Torah in Farakway, he wrote, and he said that, and we mentioned this in our previous year about Mordechai, but just like to elaborate a bit, that he said that what's unique about the book of Esther is that we see the life of the Rishaim, the life of the Tzaddikim, and we don't see just in Olam Haba, the Tzaddikim get Olam Haba, and the Rishaim get Gehenna. It's not worsening. And we're not seeing a Sefer where Hashem does all these miracles for the Jewish people. And Hashem miraculously punishes all the Rishaim. It's different. We see tzaddikim living like tzaddikim, people who are produced and developed, by the Torah. They're living their Torah life and they're living through challenging times. And you have the Rashaim living life as Rashaim, as wicked people, as impulsive, instinctual creatures, and we see the natural results of these lives. And just to give an example, we saw how Mordechai was playing around with Haman and being tough on him during the moment where he was leading over Haman. He was given the horse ride, and Haman was one who had to prepare him for it. And according to the Gemara, he was putting Haman down, making fun of him, kicking him. And we mentioned that he was trying to break the stability of Haman. He was too thought out. I'd like to elaborate on that a bit. Because really, if you go through the story, so Hashverosh, we see his impulsiveness. He kills his wife, now he's all upset, looking for a new wife. Then he impulsively makes a decree. Then he realizes that's a problem, but he can't take back the decree. So he needs to go ahead and make another decree that the Jews could defend themselves. Then he's buddies with Haman. He sells the farm, gives away the farm to Haman. Then he realizes this guy's a power-hungry guy. You're going to realize that before he killed him, when he asked Haman, what do you think we should do for someone we want to honor? And he knows Haman's going to think it's himself. So you give away the power to Haman, you realize that he's a power monger, not a thought-out person. And he's the most powerful person in the world. And he's causing major problems for himself. This is the life of a Russia, the life of the instincts. The life of impulse causes destruction here, not just in Olam Haba. And then you see the life of Esther, the life of Mordechai. We're taking all their values that they were inculcated in them from the Torah training that they've had. And you see, they work out step by step. They even have disagreements, but the disagreements are based on chachma. Mordechai says, you need to go and approach the king. I can't approach the king now, Esther says. I'll get killed. He says, well, you have to understand, this is a challenging situation. You have to know philosophically that as a nation, we're going to stay alive. Because we have a promise as a nation we won't get killed, and he's trying to threaten to kill all of us. You as an individual, you may be killed. So he has a philosophical argument, but nothing impulsive. It's almost like a machloket between two giants in Torah. And Esther hears this, says, oh my gosh, this is a crisis for the nation. I must risk my life, so please daven. Because besides strategy, we need to have spiritual energies as well to help us out. And maybe the tefillos and the fasting is going to help. So you see the chachamim, the tzaddikim working with chachma, with bin and dat. And you see the Rishon just digging their own graves in this world. Forget about Olam Haba. Forget about Gehenna. And then, just to finish off, the icing on the cake. So Mordechai goes ahead, he's aggressive to Haman. He gets coming crazy. A few minutes later, he gets an invitation. Haman, time to go to the party, just you. And Achashverosh, and Esther. It's like, oh my gosh. And then they have the party. Everything's great. Another party the next day, you're invited again. He's at the top of the world, Haman, once again. So he's been having a great ride. Bit of a downfall the previous day with that ride. Okay, we could forget about that. Now the party, everything is great. And all of a sudden, Esther points out Achashverosh. This all wants to destroy the people. Who wants to destroy the people? My people. So Esther the whole time kept her identity to herself, that she's Jewish. Which is a good question. How could she do that? They had no way of finding out. Interesting question to look into. But why'd she hold it back? So it's possible to say, one possibility I'm wondering about is that she knew her identity could be revealed at a very opportune time. And that's valuable information to hold back from Achashverosh. And she held on. It was not easy. I'm sure she was pressured. I'm sure she wanted to give it over. From the house of Shaul, royalty. No, kept it quiet. And she revealed it at the precise moment when Achashverosh heard her, and he loved her, and he was attached to her. It's just, my people are going to be destroyed. Your people are going to be destroyed? Who's going to destroy your people? Haman. Now, once again, these vandals, well, Achashverosh, he was part of that. Okay, that's for a separate time. So all of a sudden, Achashverosh is furious at him. He runs out. He has to calm down. And then what's the next pasuk? Where's Haman? He fell on the bed. So the Gemara and the Medrash and Rashi says a malach pushed him, which is fine. But there's another pshat. Simple pshat, he fell on the bed. How could it be Haman, the most stable Russia we've had in history, where every time Mordechai bowed down to him, he got crazy. And he stayed calm. He didn't kill Mordechai because he knew Achashverosh would have his head for killing another person without permission. He stayed calm. He went to his family. He took it out again on them. He spoke to them. He had this venting session. But he wouldn't kill Mordechai. And the way he got Achashverosh to kill the Jews, step by step, convincing them that these people need to be destroyed. It wasn't in a second. It was a thought-out plan. The Haman was a thought-out Russia under control. How could he make such a tactical move? Be on the queen's bed when Achashverosh is livid outside that he's going to walk in and see. How can he make that mistake? So the Chazal says it must have been a miracle. God pushed him on. A malach pushed him. That's one answer. I'm wondering about another answer. That they made him so unstable. Mordechai the day before is making him feel like a loser. Now he's in Shamayim. Then a second later, Esther says, you're the loser, you're rushing to destroy us, and now Achashverosh is against him. He totally lost his balance. He lost his balance. And he's in a desperate moment. He's going near Esther to plead with her, crying to her to save his life. And there he's near the bed. And he risked the possibility of him falling on the bed, which is a guaranteed destruction for him. But he was not stable. They played with his mind. Mordechai brought him down. Esther brought him up. The next night brought him up again. Then hands him a left curve out of nowhere. Hachashverosh is furious. He goes out. That calm Haman, who every step was thought out, gone. And this was the doing of these tzaddikim who thought through every move. And that's what a chacham is going to do. He's going to sit and learn, of course, and keep all the mitzvahs. And she's going to go be an Ashes Chayil and also learn whatever's appropriate for her to learn. But besides that, the chachamim, the men and the women, are going to take all the knowledge of Torah and work it through in the midot and work it through in the derech hachayim, where they're going to be thinking through every move in a smart way. They're going to be creative and work it through to deal with each situation in the most wise way according to the ideas and values of the Torah. That's what they did. And maybe that's why this Megillah is different than everything else. And we're going to keep having in the Messianic era, which may be a unique position for the Rambam, or maybe we'll have all this forum, but this is what's going to be read every year, so that you could see a sefer where the Chachamim, the Gedolim, the Tzaddikim, the man and the woman, where they were so affected by the life of the Torah, where they worked it through in every step of the way, and it had profound results in Olam Hazeh, besides Olam Haba, as opposed to and contrasted with the life of the Rasha, who just digs his own grave because of his crazy ta'avot, his ridiculous desires, his ego. And that contrast is such a beautiful contrast. And that's the ultimate model of Torah Lishma. To see what a true Torah Jew is, where it's in his blood, in his soul. And maybe that's the idea of the Medrash, that there's something unique to the Sefer Megillah in the future times, whether it's the Rambam's version, how do we understand the Rambam's version, those are details. But that there's something unique, according to the Medrash, about Megillah Esther in the future times, that everyone seems to hold by. And maybe there's an idea behind it. And Yetz Hashem, we should take these models, Mordechai and Esther, and Yetz Hashem, emulate them, where Torah is totally in our heart and soul and affects every action that we do. Shalom.